Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unscaled. My name is Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. And, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is our land of insanity where we talk about travel and other things, but mainly travel, but mostly other things. I don't know what that meant. Joining me in this week's episode is my co-host, as usual. Usually we're doing sports and things, but, he's been joining me for the ride of travel, and I really do appreciate that. It's my guy, Michael Price, MP. What's happening, MP?
Man, what's going on there, Jay Long, man? Mr. Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Dude, I'm always excited to find out exactly what you have prepared for these shows, because it's like like Family Feud. I don't know what you're going to flip on me. I do not know, but it's always exciting. I know that you're going to be going to Japan soon, so I know you're just probably going to be hitting on all cylinders with everything you got coming up for these next several weeks, brother. So I appreciate you.
Oh, I like the game show reference. Yeah, survey says we're going to have some fun today. Haha. Kind of assembling this show. I like to, I don't know if you've noticed, and if our listeners have noticed, I like to try to, put a theme together for each show. Like last week, we were talking about camping and outdoors and getting ready for summer and things of that nature. This week's theme, if believe it or not, kind of cohesive, kind of weirdly all came together. And I didn't even select these stories for this reason. It just kind of happened this way. But bougie travel. And, what does that mean for different people? Bougie could mean so many things to so many different people. It's not necessarily all upscale. It just has to do with more of your expectations and what's offered by the places that you go and visit. So we'll get into a lot of that for Vegas in particular in a couple of minutes. You know what? I said, let's go all out. We're going to talk about some of the best bougie / upscale restaurants in Las Vegas. And now we're not going to talk prices, because prices are relative to people. They are subjective to people. What's expensive to me may not be expensive to MP, because he runs all these businesses and has his hand in every pie out there, or you could be Elon Musk and it's nothing at all. It's just mere pennies dropping into the fountain. So we're not talking all that, but it's more of just the experience when you go there. And surprisingly, one hotel or casino area has a lot more upscale places than a lot of other places. So yeah, I know it's really confusing. A little bit later on the show, I'm going to chat with Jean-Pierre Wolff, who is the principal owner of Wolff Vineyards. Speaking of bougie, wonderful place out in San Luis Obispo in California. A little bit of wine country talk, okay, to satiate your appetite. There you go. I don't know if that's the right word for it.
That is the word.
Is that the right word for it? You can tell I'm not used to it. So before we get to that, let's talk some travel news. Talk about bougie. You know what? You go to the airport, which, I'm always headed to or from the airport at any given time, which is, I guess, a bougie way to say that in itself, MP. Sorry. But if you've ever spent any time, and I know you were traveling in an airport recently, I think to your daughter's wedding, and then the last few weeks you've had different places to go as well. Have you dealt with the security lines in the airport, MP?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's the post 9/11 everything. It's just been crazy. It hasn't gotten any better because the world is what it is today. I'm going to leave it like that. But it's not as bad as it used to be. But I always get jealous when I see the people coming through the TSA and the young fella will stop. Oh, I said young fella. I'm showing my age. And, the young man will, at the clear, will ask me if I want to sign up. And I go, oh, no, I'm good on clear. And I'll look and go, well, hell, I've already traveled 4 times. Oh, crap, I should have got it. But then I go, well, I'm not going to travel anymore. But yet and behold, I am going to be traveling soon. So I need to do one of those things. I have to do it sooner than later. So I know you have everything, don't you?
Yeah. For as much as my wife and I travel, I went ahead and actually during the pandemic, I said, you know what, let's do it. I waited for months and got my TSA pre-check, and I signed up with Clear. Actually, I think I had Clear right before pandemic. And then I discovered the global entry. I don't know why I didn't know about that, but if you get the global entry, it comes with TSA pre-check. So just go get the global entry and you'll get the other things as well. Global entry is, for those who may not know, is for when you come back into the country from international. TSA pre-check is just flying around domestically here in the US. So you might as well just, take the plunge and get the global entry. And here's a secret. Most travel credit cards that offer like travel rewards will actually pay you back for global entry or TSA pre-check or anything like that. And even some of them offer reimbursements for Clear. So you can basically get these services for free. You just have to go and sign up for them, which can take a little bit of time because you have to go up to like the airport or different offices and get the stuff done. So that notwithstanding, and not to, move on from the point here, select airports. Now, this is something that's been going on for just a little bit, but now it's expanding. Select airports will now let you reserve a security spot in line in a time frame. So, like, for instance, if you know your flight's at 11 o'clock and you and your family want to show up at 9 o'clock in the morning and have a reserved spot in line so you don't have to deal. And it's like you get your own dedicated line. And this is like a service that's offered through Clear. And I was like, how bougie is this? I mean, you get to just pick and choose when you want to hit the security line instead of dealing with the commoners who, often muck up those lines.
Yeah, no, that is kind of funny. I was reading that article and thinking to myself, well, that is a little bougie, but in the same breath, we love convenience. In this day and age, we are a society of convenience, from everything from Lyft's picking us up to Uber's bringing us food. We want it now. So, hey, who didn't see this coming? How did you not see this coming, man? You're on top of all this stuff. You should have known this, because this is the easy route. It's like, oh, okay, I can kind of do this, but now I can even do it better because I can reserve my time. I can just pull up. Okay, I said a young phrase. I said pull up.
You said pull up. There you go. Hey, you're working it back in there. Yeah, there we go. We should have seen it because, here's the weird thing. Sometimes you'll go to the airport and the TSA pre-check line is longer than the regular line. But you know what? I've paid my money and I am so sick and tired of taking off my belt and my shoes and getting undressed at the airport that I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to stand in line and I will deal with it, even though I probably could have gotten through security 15 minutes ago. It's a principle now. I am not going to take off. I'm tired of taking off my belt and my shoes. I ain't doing it no more. The folks at Clear say reserve, which is what they are calling their reservation lane, basically. Real stretch of the imagination there. Reserve is a free service only available at select airports and requires booking your spot ahead of time and, more importantly, showing up on time. Reserve provides a more predictable experience than standard airport security, but it still requires you to show a TSA officer your ID to verify that it's you. So you don't get to skip any of that secure part. Some of those airports are LAX, Minneapolis, JFK, Newark, Orlando, Phoenix, Sky Harbor. Oh, the worst airport in the world. Seattle, Tacoma, and a number of international airports like Berlin, Calgary, Edmonton, Frankfurt, Montreal, and Rome, which, hey, look at that. I'll be there later this year. So that's very good to know. So there you go. If you want to upscale
No.
What?
No, we're not letting you off the hook. Why is it a horrible airport? What makes it bad?
Phoenix Sky Harbor. Oh man.
Yeah.
It is just, do you know, like, Phoenix is just massive. Like, even just the suburbs of Phoenix and everything, you could drive an hour across the city and still be in Phoenix. It's just that big now. It's that just, vast. That's kind of how they built the airport. It's vast. You have to walk 20 minutes to a different terminal, and there's no real quick way to get around there. And I just absolutely hate it. And And that's just my personal experience. Other people may love Sky Harbor, and those people I don't want to know on a personal level. So,
you are the traveler, man. So no, your opinion counts, and people need to know these things because they go, "Oh, I did not know that. Let me be prepared for this."
Yeah.
So just put some knowledge on them, man. Put some knowledge.
Trying. All right. Let's put some other quick knowledge before we go to break here. Imagine hearing news day in, day out, MP, that inflation and the economy are just down in the dumps and inflation is rising. Excuse me. And like the world is just poorer every single day for us people who aren't billionaires and everything. Well, Google searches, U.S. Google searches for private yacht charter continue to surge, most recently by 669% as Americans continue to show interest in the luxurious getaway that is private yachts. Now, you made an interesting point to me before we came on air about the misconception about what an actual private yacht is.
Yeah, no, and it is weird what that is entailing. So we're going to talk about a little more. I'm assuming coming back after the break, correct?
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But, right before we go, we're not talking necessarily about the mega yachts that, Jeff Bezos has.
Oh, yeah.
or the Russians, Russian guys have that are like 800 feet long and look like James Bond villain yachts and everything. But a yacht can be a small boat. It's just a small, luxurious boat. And what you're looking for can determine how much it costs to actually rent these things. And it may be more affordable than you think. So we'll have more about private yachts. Boujee Travel. This is Unscaled. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Ronnie, the tax lady. Do you or your business owe money to the IRS? Then call me today and get qualified for CNC tax status, and you won't pay the IRS a dime. That's right. If you qualify for financial hardship through the CNC program, you won't pay the IRS a dime. Call now and speak with a tax professional, 800-927-4423. That's 800-927-4423. Or go to RonnieTheTaxLady.com.
Welcome back to Unscaled. We're having fun. We hope you are too. We're talking Boujee Travel. In just a second, we're going to discuss some of the best upscale restaurants in Vegas. In just a few minutes, we're going to talk to Jean-Pierre Wolff, the principal owner at Wolff Vineyards out in California. But before we get to that, right when we were going to break, we were talking about how, according to new Google searches, Google searches for the phrase private yacht charter are surging, most recently by 669%, as Americans continue to show interest in luxurious getaways that involve private yacht charters. So, and these aren't necessarily yachts, like I was saying a few minutes ago, these aren't necessarily yachts that are Jeff Bezos or, billionaire yachts that you might be picturing that are like 200, 300 feet long. Yachts can be different sizes. All I know is they're just upper scale boats, right? They're luxurious boats. And a lot of things go into how much these things, I think most people would go, yeah, well, duh, right? How much these things can cost you, set you back. And again, price is relative. It's subjective to everyone out there. You may think it's expensive. I may not. Okay. But a couple of things are, where your destination is going, what port you're leaving from, where you are going to, how long you plan on using the boat, obviously, and that there are different types of yachts available. And I know you are up on your yacht knowledge. MP, but I will attempt to school you here. There are a few different types. Motor yachts. You know, if you're going long distances, obviously you're going to want a good motor on the back of that puppy to get you around through the wave, I guess. I mean, do yachts not have motors? I don't know. It's a weird point. Displacement yachts, which are heavier with rounded hulls and ride lower and apparently displace much more water for a more stable but a slower ride. Then there are planning yachts. And, you know, I'm not going to go through all these. And catamarans and different things. Catamarans actually are, you know, considered yachts. Catamarans, sailing yachts, another thing that could affect the price, number of guests. And like if you have one of these yachts that actually do provide like services like cuisine, like on board cuisine or wine, and some of them even come equipped with other like water toys. You could have jet skis attached to them, or, you know, different inflatable things that they can bring along, or, you know, paddle boards, all kinds of stuff. It's getting so much out there now, so bougie out there, that these things can come with, you know, as long as you have the money, MP, you can basically get whatever you want for sailing around on those aqua green places that we only see in pictures sometimes.
No, it's a beautiful world out there. In fact, I know a couple of my friends who have gone on those trips. You know, they've gone collectively and gone to the Greek Isles and had some fun. In fact, one of my oldest friends, and I know it's not the same, he's gotten married recently, and on July 10th, he's having, you know, he invited me out on a yacht to go on the lake in Lake Michigan for 3 days and just hang out. And it's like, who the hell does these kind of things? And like you said, people who have the means, you know, he and his wife have the means. They live on the, you know, the banks of the Detroit River. So, you know, not to put it business, but, you know, it's, you kind of go where your income can take you.
Yeah.
And even more importantly, you know, just your imagination, man. If this is something you want to do, you just have to plan accordingly. And I was so amazed when you said that the catamarans were considered yachts. And when I read on it, those seem actually like a good alternative. Well, I say alternative, but a great yacht alternative, just because of the way that the housing is set up on there and the stability of the yacht itself. So that really sounded kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if you've ever been anywhere tropical near the water, you're going to find some kind of company that offers like sunset cruise, like sunset dinner cruises on a catamaran or something like that. And, you know, they can go from smaller boats that have, you know, just a couple of people on board for a more private, intimate experience, or the bigger ones that host, you know, maybe 20, 25 people sometimes, which can be a bigger boat, but just a crazy experience. And it all depends on if you get that bougie kind of money, which is all we're talking about today. So don't hate the messenger. Just, you know, get your money up, as they say. Or get your credit up, something like that. Get that card turned up, get that platinum card. I don't know. Which leads me to somewhere where we don't have a whole lot of water to go sailing on, but we do have some of the best restaurants. I think Vegas is underrated when it comes to cuisine. I think because, I don't know, we're Vegas. I think people like to think that we're kind of low class and PBR all the time and everything, but dude, Vegas has some really nice upscale restaurants. And so I thought, who better than you, Mike, a guy that knows the city, that knows the town, been here for a while, but you're a man about action and substance. And I wanted your thought on some of the best upscale restaurants in Las Vegas.
Well, just looking at the list that you put together here, I've only been to one of them.
Oh, really?
But now you've given me, yeah. And then I've fallen off. I have fallen off on my high end. And then there's these, you know, I've been to some other ones out here. And as you said before, it's just really, when I went to the restaurants myself, I didn't know that they were $5 signs, you know, which is, I think, the highest that you can go, the 5 rating. And looking at the list, you're like, oh, no wonder I had to take out that small loan in order to have a meal for 3 hours. But it's the experience.
Yeah.
You know, I had the opportunity to go to SW Steakhouse and just going in there and being dressed. And that's the one thing that I always talk to my girlfriend about, is that when you want to go out to a nice restaurant, and you see someone coming in, and you go like, man, I'm spending $800. I think you should be dressed a little better than just shorts and a baseball cap. And hey, you know what? There's places to go, but these restaurants, they actually have, you have to dress appropriately to go in there, and I love it. But SW, great food, great ambiance. It's in the wind. As you said, there's a consistent theme here about these upscale restaurants.
Yeah.
But I went to that one. It was delicious, brother. Delicious.
Yeah, SW Steakhouse there in the Wynn, just a prime place. And like you said, these are just a couple. I mean, there are so many upper scale restaurants in Vegas, but these are, top 5 in my book anyway, that we've visited collectively together and everything, because I haven't been to SW Steakhouse, but I've been to the other ones. One at MGM Grand is by famous, of course, restaurateur and chef Joel Robuchon, who passed away. When did he pass away? 2018, I believe. But in his chef lifetime, collected something absurd, like 30 Michelin stars in his chef career,
Insane.
Which is just insanity. And now his tradition is carried on by the chef there and everything. But Joel Robuchon is very, very, very good. I don't know if you got that, but very good inside MGM Grand. You mentioned SW Steakhouse inside the Wynn. Great. Obviously it's right there in the name, Steakhouse. One that is kind of underrated, surprisingly, but is still always at the top of my list, because you get not only incredible food, but you get incredible atmosphere both in and outside of the restaurant, is Picasso at Bellagio. Now, as the name says, it's a French restaurant, but Picasso is, you sit amongst Picasso paintings, all on real Picasso paintings on the wall. So it scratches kind of that artistic itch that a lot of people might have. And then right outside the windows, MP, are the famous Bellagio fountains that if you, go anytime during in the evenings or whatever, you'll see the fountain shows and everything. So you kind of get this like 2-in-1. You get surrounded by famous art, you get delicious food, and you also get the Bellagio fountains, if you're a fan of such things. If you're not, I guess you don't have to look out the windows, but I think it's part of the ambiance. You're paying for the ambiance, so Picasso. Have you walked by there? Have you seen? I know it's like in the shops that connect Bellagio to the outside world there.
I've seen it before. In fact, I'm looking at it right now for reservations, and folks, it looks like they're pretty flexible as far as reservations. It's outdoor seating that's beautiful, and as you say, you get to see the fountain itself. So I am putting this on one of the places that I'm going to be going to soon.
Heck yeah,
sooner than soon.
They have a wine cellar stocked with more than 1,500 selections from some of the best vineyards in Europe. And I forgot. Yeah, you mentioned it. Thank you for mentioning it. But they also have an outdoor patio seating section that can accommodate up to 56 guests. So it is French. It's French. So, come there ready to eat some French food. Now we go back over to the Wynn, and that's where we're going to stay, because Wynn doesn't, they don't do things small scale. But Mizumi is a Japanese seafood style restaurant. Okay. Right now, at this present moment, Mizumi is closed for renovations, but they're going to be opening back up here in a couple of months. But I could not leave them off the list because the food is so good, and because the ambiance there, and it's beautiful. And it was beautiful inside the restaurant. I can't wait to see what the renovations bring afterwards. But Mizumi's chef Min often is there. He pops up pretty regularly in the nighttime. And does what they call like a test kitchen, a creative culinary journey all the way through. So, this is one of those places that also is booked out for a long time in advance. And finally, before we go to break, we stay in the Wynn for Wing Lei. Wing Lei, the beautiful Chinese restaurant inside of Wynn, that was one of the first Chinese restaurants in America to earn a Michelin star. And also a Forbes Travel Guide 5-star award. It serves Cantonese, Shanghai, and Sichuan flavors. And I just read that off a thing. So, if I messed up what it's called, then oops, my bad. I did it again. So a lot of those restaurants right there, you can find all in one place. Joel Robuchon inside MGM, SW Steakhouse inside Wynn, Picasso at Bellagio, Bazumi and Wing Lei at the Wynn as well. When we come back, I'm going to talk with Jean-Pierre Wolff from Wolff Vineyards in California. This is Unscaled. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Ronnie, the tax lady. Do you or your business owe money to the IRS? Then call me today and get qualified for CNC tax status, and you won't pay the IRS a dime. That's right. If you qualify for financial hardship through the CNC program, you won't pay the IRS a dime. Call now and speak with a tax professional, 800-927-4423. That's 800-927-4423. Or go to RonnieTheTaxLady.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Unscaled. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. We continue our journey through what I've themed Boujee travel for this episode. And, we've taken a look at a lot of upper scale things. And now it's time to take, of course, a look at the wonderfully bougie world of wine. And we are here in Las Vegas, very close to just a quick flight to wine country in California. Some of the best wines in the world and best grapes in the world are grown over there in different parts. The part I'm specifically talking about is that wine country around San Luis Obispo. And I was lucky enough to be granted some access to Jean-Pierre Wolff, the principal owner of Wolff Vineyards. They're right outside SLO, the city. And we had a little impromptu interview. We were outside. It was windy. He was hosting a number of journalists on his property. He was so gracious with his time. I did not have time to find a windscreen or anything for the mic. So there is a little bit of wind noise. I pray that you will bear with me, bear with the interview. It's a wonderful story about how the vineyard came to be and how it became and stays a family-owned property, and how they sit at the cutting edge of innovation in wine. So it's a great story. It continues on with the theme here for the episode. Jean-Pierre Wolff. I hope you take a listen. Once again, I apologize for the noise in advance, but it's well worth it. Have a listen.
I always had an interest in agriculture because originally I pursued a 4-year degree in agriculture engineering, but it was always in the back of my head. And then living in Europe, I always enjoyed going to wineries, and the definition of a winery was always a little blurry. You didn't know if you were in somebody's home, somebody's farm, or that was actually the winery.
Right.
So I enjoyed always the land, and then also, the wines, the tasting, and some of the challenge that I saw associated with winemaking. So eventually I decided, I want to get back to my original dream and vision of being involved in agriculture. So I thought, vineyard, and then it also checked the box about the interest in winemaking and having a winery. Now, why I chose San Luis Obispo? For 2 years, my wife and I went up and down the coast of California, from Norden to Santa Barbara, and we wanted to be close to the ocean. So here I'm 4 miles, so check that box. I wanted to be next to a university town because then I could still teach.
Okay.
And then anytime you're next to a university town, there's a lot of culture.
Okay. Yeah.
So Cal Poly.
Cal Poly, right
Check
there.
the box.
Yeah.
Because we found some wonderful vineyards, Northern California, Redwood Empire. And I go to this little town. I'm like, man, this is an intellectual desert. I need more. So that was another aspect of it. And then we wanted to be in an up-and-coming appellation because 25 years ago, Valley was not that well known.
Uh-huh.
And then fast forward quarter of a century later, we certainly have a lot more recognition. So, and I wanted to be in a coastal area so I could grow cool climate grapes like Riesling, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Northern Rhone style Syrah. So that's basically the decision.
Did you and your wife set out to make this a family business, or was that the plan from the beginning, or did it just kind of organically?
No, that was the plan from the beginning because Mark very handy, so I thought, okay, it'll be great in helping us with the maintenance of all the facilities and also grow him into being assistant winemaker. Clint, actually, originally, he had a band in San Francisco.
Oh.
And, they do national tours on an old Winnebago. So I say, Clint, come over here. And so, Clint has more of a creative, social personality. So I thought, okay, tasting room and events manager. That's the right job for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, assistant winemaker, and also repair maintenance. So sent both of them to Hancock College to get a 2-year degree in viticulture and enology. So at least they would have,
some kind of knowledge,
and background.
Yeah.
And then my wife has a CPA background.
Oh.
And
she keeps the books and keeps everybody.
She keeps my optimism under check. And my wife is originally from Germany, so there's no in between. It's like this is the rule. This is how it's.
This is how it is. Yes.
So so it's a good arrangement, and there's benefit to basically have all the family involved in the business and in a non-competing way because each of them have their own skill sets.
Right.
For example, with our two sons, because sometimes if they both had exactly the same skill sets, how do you in an equitable way divvy up the responsibilities?
Yeah.
And then me, Papa Wolff, I'm always looking at new things, new ideas, and
keep pushing it forward.
Exactly.
Okay.
Keep everybody.
I mean, it
motivated.
is crazy what you were talking about. How you have continuously innovated, and moved everything forward. And you're doing it. You're doing something. You seem to be at the forefront where a lot of vineyards may be kind of not falling behind, but they're not quite there yet.
Yeah, no, that's true. We're a bit of a pioneer in some areas, and I've done quite a few research projects here, and once in a while I will admit there's a difference between being in the leading edge and the bleeding edge. So it was like some of my research projects failed miserably, but by the same token, if you succeed every time you do a research project, you're sandbagging, right?
Yeah.
You're not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
So we've done some things that just didn't work, but that's okay. That's part of learning.
It's crazy how much comes out of experimental projects, because I was at Messina Hoff in Texas a few months ago, and their whole beginning was, a student, I think at Texas A&M at the time, in the 60s or 70s, brought, wanted to experiment on their land with grapes and growing grapes down there, with that unique climate they have. And that started the whole boom for them. And now they're one of the bigger ones there in that area. So do you find that, I guess, experimenting and just kind of always testing those boundaries is what helps move, I guess, the industry forward as a whole?
Absolutely. Case in point, let's see it from here, but the other side of this hill, I have Petit Syrah growing.
Okay.
And Petit Syrah, typically in California, warm climate, great, where it's planted. And about 20 years ago, Carol Meredith, the scientist that gave us Pioneer DNA to identify grape variety, she identified that the true origin of Petit Syrah is a mutation, grafting that was done between Syrah and Peloursin, which are two grown varieties. And it was a professor who did the hybridization. So when I found that out, I'm like, aha, Petit Syrah, it's got Syrah as one of the parents, the mother vine, mother side. So I'm like, it's got to do well in a cool climate. So I went ahead and on the other side there, I planted 7 acres. And, my wife would say, well, honey, is this going to work? And I would say, oh, yeah. And actually, when I had planted, it's a small community here, I had a neighbor who came to me and said, Jean-Pierre, I understand you're planting petite. Yeah. Oh, it'll never ripen. He said, what have you been smoking? I'm like, well, Terry, I tell you what, 1, I know my French geography, and 2, I don't inhale. So
I don't inhale.
Yeah.
So I'm good. Level-headed.
Well, today it's legal, but
I
had to give my hold harmless gloves there. So this Petit Syrah consistently always get very good reviews, and is a little bit unique because it's grown in a cool area.
Yeah.
Versus the Paso Robles or inland, of Santa Barbara County or foothills of the Sierra, near Sacramento and those areas. So that was based on a little bit of research. Okay. Where I went ahead and planted the petite. But it's all part of learning.
Yeah. Well, finally, when people come here for the first time, maybe they visit the tasting room, come for whatever reason, what experience or what memory do you hope they at least leave with when visiting Wolff?
The whole idea is to disconnect them from their day-to-day, get off a freeway, by having to drive a little bit from the main road to the tasting room. It disconnects you, and it's to connect people back to nature. Yeah. So it's basically from grapes to the bottle, and I can say, you see those vines there? Well, that's what you're drinking.
Right.
So it connects people back to where things are grown.
Thank you so much to Jean-Pierre Wolff, the principal owner there at Wolff Vineyards. His entire family is involved in the process. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to even just visit if you're in the San Luis Obispo area. Please go check it out. They offer wine tastings, of course, but so much more. So visit them online, Wolff Vineyards. Thank you so much to Jean-Pierre Wolff, his entire family, for hosting us. And I apologize to you once again if you caught a little bit of the noise in the background. I'm so sorry. It's the wind, and I promise it'll be better in the future. But when you have a very busy man like Jean-Pierre, sometimes you just gotta learn to roll with the punches so you can get the whole story, because he's a wonderful storyteller. He's a wonderful guy. So thank you so much to him and his family. This is Upscale. I'm Jeremy Long. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Ronnie, the tax lady. Do you or your business owe money to the IRS? Then call me today and get qualified for CNC tax status, and you won't pay the IRS a dime. That's right. If you qualify for financial hardship through the CNC program, you won't pay the IRS a dime. Call now and speak with a tax professional, 800-927-4423. That's 800-927-4423. Or go to RonnieTheTaxLady.com.
Welcome back to Upscale. We're having fun. We hope you are too. Thank you so much to Jean-Pierre Wolff, the owner of Wolff Vineyards. And, I wanted to say before, but I'll say it now. Apologies about the little bit of wind interference in that interview. Jean-Pierre Wolff was hosting some travelers, some travel writers, I should say, and we were outside. It was a little windy, but I think the point got across. He's got an amazing story, and his family-owned vineyard and winery is just, top scale, and they're just the most down-to-earth people and so very nice. And thank you so much to the Wolff family for hosting us, and for Jean-Pierre for speaking to me for a little bit. So this whole episode has been themed around Boujee travel. MP, we talked earlier about now you can reserve a spot in security, because why just show up to the airport like like a commoner? Like, what is this, Soviet Russia? What are we doing here? Like, get out of here. No one does that anymore. You do that? You
Why
shouldn't.
show up when you can pull up?
Yeah. Pull up, get out, man. It's a beautiful experience. Earlier, we were talking about some of the best upscale restaurants in Vegas. Vegas has a lot of them, and we talked about 5 of the very best. Yeah, that made me think in the commercial. Do you have a bad experience at one of these supposedly upscale restaurants in Vegas?
Are we saying names? Are we doing this? Are we saying names?
Yeah, I think every experience is personal. So, if something happened, it's not a knock on the workers unless there's something that happened. But, bad experience. It's like a real live Yelp review. So, yeah, fire away.
Yeah, no, Double Ego, steakhouse, famous for their steaks, and just the atmosphere itself wasn't what it should be for as much as it cost. The steak was okay, and I shouldn't be saying steaks are okay for as expensive. I think it was a $4 steakhouse. But the experience, it was loud and rambunctious, and there was nothing. It was there for my girlfriend's birthday, and this was just this past March.
Right.
And it just wasn't the feel that I was looking for. And I'm glad that we just did that one section, because I'm earmarking these places to go to, especially the one with Wing Lei. That's definitely what I'm going to hit. But yeah, the Double Ego, if you want to go there, it's a bunch of guys who are coming off the golf course in shorts, baseball hats. Again, nothing wrong with that. But when you're going there for something else, it's just not what you expect, and you have to make sure you do your research, and that's making sure you listen to the show. I'm just saying, every Saturday, right here.
we will tell it like it is. I just love the sound of potential sponsorships just completely passing me by. But you know what? Look, if we're not true to it, if we don't tell people, if people want to tune into the show, and we feed them nothing but lies or PR, if we just give them press releases for restaurants, if they're doing a bad job or something, I think we're not doing this, the spirit of this show properly. We're not doing it well, man. We're not doing it like it should be. So I'm sorry. And mine, I actually have one, but it's not connected to the food. It's not connected, like you said, yours wasn't connected to the food. It was just more the atmosphere. Mine was kind of the same way, because you mentioned when we were talking about like these upscale restaurants, and they have these alleged, dress codes and things like that. And look, dress codes are very personal with people. I know there's a lot of places that, if you're rich and famous, you want to dress however you want to dress, because money spends, right? That's all that matters, is if you have the money to pay for the things that are happening. But if you're going to an upscale place and it says that you need to wear a jacket and tie, or, you need to, at least semi-formal, at least business casual, no jerseys, no stuff like that. And then the dude sitting right next to you has a jersey on. You're like, why did I have to get dressed up? Why am I, I know he's spending just as much as I am. He should be able to do whatever. But why did I take the time to look nice? And this guy, so my experience is at the Eiffel Tower restaurant inside Paris.
I knew you were going there.
I could not, I took my wife for her birthday. I paid extra for the nice table in the corner so you can watch the fountains, which is what you're supposed to do. Okay. And it was a lovely meal. I had beef Wellington and it was perfect. It was delicious. Everything was top notch, except for the loud, obnoxious San Francisco Giants fans sitting to the table to my right, who are all wearing jerseys. Even the young lady that was with them wearing jerseys and just laughing and cussing as loud as they wanted to, because whatever. And look, I get it. Money is money. But if you're going to say it on your thing, if you're going to say, hey, look, we got a dress code, we have an etiquette code, we have all that stuff, then by God, enforce it. Enforce it, because I took the time. I don't like getting dressed up. You're a very, dapper young man, MP. You got the nice jackets and all of that. I don't like doing that. I'm a baseball cap kind of guy, but you know what? I get dressed up every once in a while. And I didn't think it was right. And maybe it's something else wrong with me. I don't know. But it made me very upset. And old man shaking his fist at the clouds, kind of upset. But when I think, think Boujee, I think get dressed up, young people. Get dressed up. There you go.
Yes, you sound like Homer Simpson would be proud of you, because that's what gets your crankshaft or whatever that segment he did.
Grind my gears. Oh no, wait, that was Family Guy. Family Guy was grind my gears.
Yeah, Family Guy. Yeah. I said Homer. Yeah, but you're right about that. When you go somewhere and you get dressed, you go, well, hell, I could have just gone to Outback. Yeah. I don't know, because this is it. And no offense to Outback. Yeah, tasty steak, one of the top steaks in the country. I think we're talking about that.
Underrated.
Yeah, very underrated. Yeah, but no, when you go out, you want to have a good time. When you're with your beautiful wife, your beautiful girlfriend, whatever the case, your significant other, whoever that may be, you just want to feel good about it. And so, they should. I want to go to the place where you don't have where they give you the jacket.
Yeah,
that's the restaurant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're paying an arm and a leg, man. Like, okay, make me wear a jacket, force me into it. Okay, so that I can sit there and be uncomfortable and eat in a nice place, but everyone kind of, it harkens back to older times when people wore suits places and stuff like that. But and I don't even care. Look, you don't even have to be a suit. It could be just a polo and some slacks or something. But don't let a baseball jersey walk through the door just because they got enough money to be there, man. Because otherwise, then hand out baseball jerseys at the door, and don't let it be Giants fans. Come on. Which brings us to our favorite segment called Say What, where we're already talking ridiculousness, but we talk about ridiculous travel news. It's I don't know. That one confused me. I'm seeing red. KOA is the camping grounds that are found across America, right? Well, they started a full-on bougie term last year or in the last couple of years. They started glamping up their websites and their camping offerings, and it seems like they are, making the most of it, and they're completing that turn to the bougier side because they're following the trend, right? Glamping is now a major thing in the camping area, which is upper scale camping, for those who may not know. And my friend Jacqueline Cahill actually wrote a piece for Thrillist that kind of goes into detail and where we're getting our information from. So thank you so much, Jacqueline, who's an incredible travel journalist, and one of my actual first travel editors. So yay to her. But KOA offering all kinds of new things at different parks, KOA parks around the United States. One in particular, talking about outside of Acadia National Park in Maine. It's all about luxury now. It used to be these campgrounds were where you went with Meemaw and Peepaw, and it was kind of just dirt roads, a little creek that you cast your line in to catch a little sun perch or something like that. There were mosquitoes everywhere. There was nothing to do. And that was great. That was what you did for camping. Now, I mean, there's yurts, there's camping, glamping, there's all kinds of everything. I don't know what even, they have so many things listed that I don't even know where to go on. All I know is if KOA is making the turn, okay, and KOA is starting to ask things of their campers, then by God, the Eiffel Tower restaurant should make people put on proper damn clothing.
Ooh, he came back. You'd be a great comedian. You'd be a great comedian. I love it.
Oh, that grinds my gears, boy. I'm telling you what. But I got nothing. This is going off the rails.
No. But you're right about this. When you sent the article, and unfortunately, I thought it was going to be something totally different. Like, oh yeah, what are they going to be glamping? I'm like, oh, they've literally gone full glamp. And I mean, come on, like you just said, KOA, I am a man of a certain age, as I say every week. I'm that from that era of the dirt roads where it's just a bunch of campers, or not even campers, but the trailers, that they pulled back in the day, and you set up there and you go there with your family. It's a bunch of nasty picnic tables that haven't been rinsed off since, since Jesus was walking the earth. But you had a good time because you're with your family. And, the hell with the ticks. The ticks didn't even matter, man. That's part of the experience. Get those chickerbugs, ticks, depending on where you come from. Get them up out your skin and have a great time with it, bro.
Hey, man. How do you know how tough you are and ready for this world unless you have Lyme disease? Now get out of here, man. Everyone should deal with that. And before we go, how bougie is this? And I don't know where you might fall in this. I know you're a foodie. You like trying different things, and you and your girl like to try different recipes. But our friends over at Travel and Leisure. Oh, nope, Talker. Have said that the average American tries up to 6 new recipes every month. Is that right? 6 new recipes every single month?
No.
Is that, does that
Different
sound
food.
normal?
No, that doesn't sound normal. I mean, you sound, even trying something new 6 months, 6 times a month doesn't even sound correct. Unless you're just, what we're doing is going to different restaurants and trying different food. But I think we try maybe 1 or 2 a month, maybe. Yeah. That's about it.
This is a survey of 2,000 Americans. It also revealed that nearly half would travel up to half an hour to eat at their favorite food stop. That sounds probably right, because everywhere in Vegas is always 25 minutes away. So that sounds about right, and it sounds about we're almost out of time. So thank you so much, MP. Thank you to my guest today, Jean-Pierre Wolff from Wolff Vineyards, and we hope you had fun with us talking about the bougie side of travel. Stay with Upscale. We'll be back next week, same bad time, same bad channel, and we'll have more for you in the world of travel as we circumvent the globe. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. We'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Ronnie the Tax Lady. Do you or your business owe money to the IRS? Then call me today and get qualified for CNC tax status, and you won't pay the IRS a dime. That's right. If you qualify for financial hardship through the CNC program, you won't pay the IRS a dime. Call now and speak with a tax professional. 800-927-4423. That's 800-927-4423. Or go to RonnieTheTaxLady.com.